coming to a close, but we are going to be talking about Ultimate Spider-Man, which is 4 issues away from its finale. And I have only one question on my mind. I don't know about you guys, but that question is, what the fuck?
Well,
As I was reading this, I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? What's going on? We got 4 issues.
Strap in, friends. This is going to be one of those days, one of those reviews. But that's not the only book we're going to be talking about today. We've got on tap 7.
damn.
Maybe for you.
Yeah.
But for some of us,
Yeah.
We've got 7 books we're going to be talking about today. Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. This is not the cover I wanted.
You got the
Oh.
Annie Wu variant, actually.
This was the only cover they had, and I don't know why.
Oh,
yeah,
They
without
didn't
like
even have
ketchup
cover
stains.
A.
no. So, interesting. Is that it's selling well, or they stopped buying as much?
I mean, I was there so early. Like, I can't see how they could have possibly sold that many units before I got there. That'd be ridiculous. I'm in math mode. Sorry. The Mortal Thor number 1.
Alex Ross the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm so glad that he's doing covers for this. And we'll talk about it, but a very, very interesting book. We've also got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. We've got Absolute Wonder Woman. Sorry, just gotta pull that out. Absolute Wonder Woman number 11. Which
Sean, can you send that to Amazon for me? They need to scan it.
I'll get right on that.
Cool. I got Bezos' number if you want it.
Yeah, hit him up.
I actually do want that. Immortal Legend Batman number 1. Superman number 29. That's the book that won the poll. That's the book everybody's talking about this week. We will definitely have our take on it here in a little bit. And rounding things out, we've got TMNT Shredder number 1. So some pretty big books on tap. And of course, we've got you here, whether you're live or in the future. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Hit the like button if you enjoy what we do. Let's do what we do. Let's talk Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. This is written by Jonathan Hickman, as always. David Messina is on the art side of things for this issue. Corey Pettit on the letters. Colors by Matt Wilson. So there was an issue of this book, maybe 10 back or something like that.
Yeah.
Where the couples, Gwen, Harry, MJ, and Peter, met up for drinks and food or whatever. And we had varying thoughts about that issue. This issue is that same setup, but now everything is on the table, so to speak. Now secrets are being revealed. Everybody sort of knows where everybody stands. And the issue really centers around MJ coming to terms with being sort of the odd person out in this quartet and what she thinks her power is here and how she can exercise it to get the outcome that she wants, because everybody's angling for something except Peter, because he apparently has no desire at all, no will, no nothing.
Lovable oaf.
Yeah. And of course, you know, in the margins of that, you've got some stuff with Richard, Peter's son, that really amounts to nothing. Tyler, talk to me.
I don't really want to, because that's all this issue was.
Fair.
It just was a lot of yapping. People just speaking Japanese all issue. I don't know what we're doing here. We have 4 issues left in Hickman's run of Ultimate Spider-Man, right? And this book takes the entirety of a book, which is the entirety of a month, I will add, on 1 or 2 simultaneous dinners happening and discussions between the characters at said dinner. And I still don't know who this Peter is. He is such a backseat to in his own book. Like, the majority of this is MJ kind of coming to terms with, being lied to either through a lie of omission or outright lies. And also coming to terms with, like, Gwen being a liar to this group of people. And I didn't find it compelling. I didn't think it was interesting. There wasn't a real back and forth. There was no conflict really. Even when MJ all of a sudden just knocks out Gwen, I didn't even feel that was justified. Like there was no
That was weird.
ramping up of the moment. It was just like wham, she's knocked out. Yeah, I didn't. This is like there's nothing. I have no issues with David Messina at all. I think he's given a script where he just draws talking heads, and that can't be that interesting, you know. So I kind of feel for him there, but like, man, this is such a snooze. Like, oh, cool, you're using the 9-panel grid, awesome. You like comics, cool. But I just found it boring. Like, and especially after reading Bendis's Ultimate Spider-Man recently, it feels so weird calling this also Ultimate Spider-Man. I know somebody asked us, like, does it deserve it? Of course it does. It's the Ultimate Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. But content-wise, man, this is nothing for me. And then, like, the end of the issue sets up the confrontation with the villain we've been waiting for this whole... Well, no, it's just Mr. Negative. We got to set up the confrontation with the lieutenant when we only got 4 issues left. I don't know what this book's doing. It's such a... Yeah, a 458 Nighthawk says this could have been an email. Honestly,
I've been trying to come to these with like clear mind,
Yeah.
let me not get bogged down by some of these things. Sean, do you mind flipping to, I think it's like the 2 pages right after we get back into the conversation for the 4 after like Richard and Uncle Ben. I just want to talk about some of the art stuff.
What's the action?
It's Peter's just saying, "Of course we are," and about each other,
Got
and
it.
the two of you. Okay, that first face, stuff about the art wasn't working for me. Some of the characters felt chunky. There's the intro walking scene where I feel like, if you look at Peter, bulked up. Sorry, we're late. Mary Jane looks a little off in some of these panels. Some of the definition of the body form is a little off. So Messina's art was throwing me off a little bit. And when I got to the story pieces, yeah, a lot of the conversation I think was trying to add a bit of depth. And the line that sticks out to me was where the quartet here is going back and forth, like, oh, what are we doing about this situation? What are we doing this situation? And then Gwen here says, so the real question, not whether the battle is righteous or worth it, or even if we can win. And we get into this sequence of just like a monologue almost. I've found it frustrating. It feels like we're sniffing our own farts here. Like we haven't earned these things. We haven't earned the weight, because my biggest thing reading through this was all of this care comes now. Where was this from MJ at the start, or intermittently, or where have we felt that this is built up outside of, oh, I understand, Peter, or hey, let me jump you right now, Peter. I don't think that this came off as true to that character. It came off as plot point here, and I
You know
think
what
that
it
was really frustrating.
you know what it reminds me of? It's like when a husband, is very clearly going through his midlife crisis and he buys the motorcycle and his wife is like, okay, I'll look past that. Then he starts going to the bar and chilling with his biker buddies and he's, 40 years old and she looks past that and she looks past it until she starts to get really concerned about what he's doing. And now all of a sudden she hates it or she wants him to stop or whatever it is. Like, why has she been so passive for so long? This is frustration that I think we're expressing, where this character has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And now 4 issues are remaining. Nothing has really changed. And she's now all of a sudden just so angry and it's just to clock Gwen. Now, they were sniping at each other a little bit throughout the book. And you could tell that MJ was getting angry, but I just don't understand what the point was of knocking her out. Like, what does that mean?
Like, wouldn't she want to knock out her own husband then for keeping the lies from her too?
I think it's that she fears Gwen has motives that are bad. Like she's the person in this equation who's going to get them in trouble.
Well, she's also the one who has been interacting with the villains, right? So because of that, there's such a proximity there, which is odd because both Harry and Peter are in the same kind of proximity, but on the different side of it.
Yeah, it's just her reactions here just don't like. And when I say here, I mean throughout the whole book, throughout the whole series, they just don't feel real.
Because we were introduced to this character who had this communication, this strong communication with Peter, and that hasn't shown itself again. And this doesn't necessarily feel like uh, like a productive conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Like I am no I love conversations. I love dialogue. I love, issues where you can just get two, three, four people talking. But there's nothing of consequence here.
Yeah.
They're just talking. I read a quote from Gail Simone that said, when I see characters sitting at a table talking, I don't want them talking about the food. I want them talking about the craziest shit they could be. I want there to be some meat on the bone of the subject, not the what's on the table. And this is the perfect example of that. I was more curious about what they were eating because what they were talking about was trivial.
There's one
Dry.
bit. There's this one bit where like Peter like goes like and like that distracted me because I was like, oh, I actually do want to know what he's eating now. And like that's to say like all of this is also happening in a story where the Kingpin, who is lieutenant of the Maker, knows that the guys he tried to kill are back in New York and they could just go out to dinner. He had Mole Man who could just climb through walls apparently in the previous issues. I know he's like a little dubious there, but like I don't understand how they're all just fine with being around. They had to flee, remember? But apparently I guess they didn't need to. They just needed to hook shop up in someone else's house. I don't know. It feels like it's countering its own self with this book.
Entertain Me dropping $5 on us. That's a reminder that super chats are open. Thank you so much for that, dude. He says all Gwen did was tell MJ to plan for protecting her and the kids, and that gets her a sucker punch to the face. Hope nothing happen. Okay, hope nothing happens to Gwen unconscious. Yeah, I don't get the punch. Like I understand she was unhappy with what Gwen was saying, but even though you could argue that Gwen was being kind of a douche, at the same time, that doesn't warrant a punch. And what she was saying was right, I felt.
She was being real.
Yeah.
I think they collectively were being like condescending throughout the entirety of it. Like it felt like one of those like weird like a power couple and you're just kind of like there along to take their berating. So I could understand that frustration, but I don't think that it serviced anything at the end of this. It doesn't reveal anything about MJ's character.
Yeah, or Gwen, because Gwen's knocked out at this point.
Well,
I like the Richard Uncle Ben convo a little bit. It was, kind of nice. It's one of the things that we've never really gotten to see, like Uncle Ben as sort of a grandfather. And I like that. But think about how much space there's been for development, like of the relationship, say, for example, between those two, and how that hasn't happened. So when you get a moment like this or a sequence like this, it doesn't have any weight. It's not like there was weight behind what they were saying to each other. It's not like it advanced anywhere. And so in a book that always feels like it needs more pages, those pages kind of feel unnecessary. We only have 4 issues to go. We don't really have time for that.
Yeah, I have no idea where this book is going. And that's not in a exciting way either. What's the opposite of excited?
Not?
This book. And I hate to like, this is like Hickman, and I've liked David Messina in other books as well. And I don't even dislike him here. I just don't think he's been given much to work with. I love Hickman's work. I don't like this book. And like because I know people, this book's got shooters, and I would love to get what they see, and I just don't. And I've tried. I don't get it.
I must be the biggest dumbass going because I came into this really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I read things online. I saw what people were saying. I was like, okay, they're going to get into it now. Here we go. This is it. And when I picked up the issue and I saw that they were going to dinner, I was like, oh, okay, this is a flashback. They're going to show us something that we missed from that dinner that they had. And then I went back to the first page and I saw that shit said August. And I was like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah. They're just safe for months on end, just chilling in New York City. Kingpin, this Kingpin sucks. Even once we get to the eventual fight with him, I don't care. He's not meta. He doesn't scare me.
Right. There's no risk here.
No.
They're taking their time to kind of plot. Not even they're taking their time to get over this conversation. Just like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you guys doing this, and then they bulldoze MJ anyway.
Yeah.
This is a strange book. It
Yeah.
really is. And there are pieces and spaces that I like, but I gotta be honest. This is the weakest. Like as a singular issue, this might be the weakest Jonathan Hickman script I've ever read. It just doesn't have anything to it. There's no heat here. There's no excitement. I'm not curious about where this is going anymore. I'm not. I'm really struggling to understand what it is that Jonathan Hickman so badly wanted to do in this book that he took the job. Because when you read issues like this, I don't know why he's here.
He took it because his son wanted him to, right? Isn't that what he said?
I mean, I've heard that, but I've also heard that there was something about this opportunity as an idea that he had wanted to do for years, and it was the only way he would do Spider-Man.
And the other thing too is like we have read Hickman talking head issues. I've read his Avengers run. I've read East of West. Those are good. Hickman can do a talking head issue.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
I'm a pass. I am a pass on this.
It's a pass for me too.
Yeah, same.
It's crazy.
As we get to the end here, the excitement that we had for the first few issues, like where does that sit for you guys? Because it feels almost misplaced now.
I don't think it's misplaced. We were reading them in the moment. We can only work with what we had,
I mean, at the time, this is the most exciting launch that Marvel had in their arsenal. This was it. This was a heavy hitter. And to me, the first few issues, the first arc-ish was really good. And it was probably that December issue that was the last one that I really, really, really loved.
Yeah. Have we seen Spider-Man fight anyone since the Kraven? Oh, there's a Sandman issue back in March.
Yeah,
that's back in March, right?
You're
like that was a good couple issues ago.
Well, we had what is it? Richard get into a fight, and didn't something happen in that issue?
Venom killed all those people.
True, yeah.
But Peter did something, no? Wasn't he?
The Sandman issue was in 26.
Okay.
March on March 26th rather. So Peter himself has not thrown any fists since March.
No fisticuffs.
There's got to be something we're misremembering.
I can't go by the covers that much. I'll tell you much.
That seems crazy.
There's the Origin of Mysterio was after that. Then it was the whatchamacallit, Harry coming back. And then it was more of Richard. It's a lot of Richard this past year. Yeah. You know that Shaquille O'Neal meme where he's just like, I sleep? That's how I feel about this book.
Let's see
It's a
how the
shame.
audience feels about it. 50% say pull, didn't buy or read is 23%, pass is 21%, pick of the week 4%.
Okay.
Entertain Me with the $2 says, can this make people hate a married Peter and MJ? I don't think it's no, I don't think it's enough to hate that idea.
Those people are locked in.
And I don't think that the reason this is like I don't think the reason this is bad is because of Peter and MJ being married.
No.
I just don't think that what Hickman set up on the outset is working. There's a way to tell this story with them married, but like is let me ask you guys this question. Is a part of the story you have been reading about the relationship between Peter and MJ being tested by him being Spider-Man? Does it feel like that to you?
No. It feels like a series of characters needing to take down the Kingpin in the slowest game of chess ever.
And that's basic. That would be like the A plot would be what Tyler just said.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you would have the B plots and C plots, and the B plot would be that. Or Peter's relationship with his son. But that's not a thing either.
It's not it doesn't bother itself with having to deal with that. Because and I think we've talked about it. It doesn't even feel like it's, Peter's show. I feel like Harry is such a driving force for everything.
Uh, $5 from Uncanny Suit. Birthday boy Uncanny dropping in here and thanking you guys for another great year of the Palsverse. What omnibus or trade paperback should I drunk by tonight? Hey, first of all, happy birthday. That's
Happy birthday.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I hope
Celebrate.
you have a great one. Yeah, celebrate. What should he buy?
The first one that jumped in my mind, trade paperback, probably one and done. Daniel Warren Johnson's Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, I co-signed that.
Just a good chunk of comics right there, where stuff happens.
Emotions are felt. I think I cried on an issue.
You have emotions for robots, clankers, as they say.
Hey, now, easy.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I think that's a great book. So yeah, grab it, read it, enjoy it. Let's hit some of the comments. I know that there are some pushback. Kenneth Crawley Jr. says, I think after these 4 remaining issues, with it stalling, someone else should take over the book. I do think the book is ending. Will it relaunch with a new #1? I think that's highly likely. I don't see them not having a Spider-Man book. I can see Peter dying at the end and Richard Parker becoming Spider-Man.
That I can see. Honestly, do it. At this point, do it. I don't care about this Peter. In fact, I probably care more about Richard in the grand scheme of things.
I don't even care about him.
I find his relationship between the symbiote to be more compelling than Richard and MJ.
Yeah, without question. I just like looking at MJ more. But I almost think that like Peter's death has been set up from the beginning because Harry and Richard have more in common than Harry and Peter. Norman is in Harry's head the same way that Richard wears his father. So I think that Norman dying and being in Harry's head is actually it's a tease, an allusion to what will happen in Richard's life.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
And like as I'm reading this too, I'm remembering the whole Harry and Norman of it all, and it's like, are we ever even going to close that plot line? I don't know if Hickman tackles that. That feels like something maybe somebody else tackles. There's not enough room to do Mr. Negative, Kingpin, whatever's going on with Gwen, Harry turning into the Green Goblin proper, and Richard and his relationship with Black Cat. Like, there's so many plot points in here. There's no way any of them get finished by 24.
I mean, maybe he like persists, right? Maybe he persists and Peter dies. Richard here takes up the mantle, and then they start to deal with that stuff. That's like maybe they've set it up,
It's a weird book, man. Very, very weird book. Wow. Wow. The way this book has turned for me is just shocked the shit out of me, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's keep things going. I do want to say we had the honor and privilege of interviewing Brian Michael Bendis this past Monday. It was really incredible. I hope you guys check it out. One of the highlights of doing this show for sure. So
100%.
give that a listen if you didn't. We also did the Ultimate Spider-Man Book Club. So if you haven't heard that, listen to that as well. Got a lot of cool stuff happening. More to come in September. Let's talk about the Immortal Thor #1. This is written by Al Ewing with Pascal Ferry on the art. Very, very cool to see him be on this. Matt Hollingsworth on the colors, Joe Sabino on the letters. So this is a #1 in the new age of Marvel way, in the sense that there's a lot of stuff that has preceded this that matters, but also doesn't matter. You know, you can read this without having read any of that. Thor died. He was essentially had his a new body without any of his memories, and he's living an earthly life. um, Midgard, Earth, was cut off from the rest of the 9 realms, or rather, they were cut off from Midgard, and humans do not remember the Norse gods as they lived. That's all the information you need to know coming into this. And if you don't know that, you'll still be fine. The book follows Thor, again, without his memories. He's got a whole new name, Sigurd, and he's just living his life. He's living in a new apartment. There's an allegory to Loki who's following him around and kind of helping him out. And then he gets himself into some trouble at the workplace, and these two goons try to kill him, and he beats the living shit out of them with a hammer. Marco, what'd you think of Mortal Thor #1?
I thought this was a strong issue. I didn't know the context that you just laid out there. I haven't been following the book. And so I think I picked up on those things. There's, allusions at the start to the Norse gods or to like certain gods, the Nordic ones being of question. There's an explanation in the back matter as well with as it relates to like where things are for Midgard as well. So I don't think I needed it, which is a good first issue. It functions as an introduction, and I really appreciated that. And it felt a little slice of life. I don't mind that. I think that's entertaining and engaging, and Al Ewing is a strong enough writer to make that seem fun. Um, the end bit really caught my attention. I think it was the violence of it. I wasn't expecting one for a Marvel book, but then also two for what this iteration of a Thor would be. And so I was like, oh, this was fine. And then that end bit with the blood and the bludgeoning, I was like, oh shit, I need to know what happens in the next issue. I'm upset that it ended there. What does this mean? So kudos because I'm in for the next issue. This was a good time.
Yeah, similarly, I feel pretty much exactly the same as you. I really like this. I had been reading Immortal Thor, so this is just the next issue for me, which Al Ewing kind of plays with in the back matter, talking about how it's like, yes, this is #1. It's also a number whatever of Immortal Thor. It's also 700 and something of Thor. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a continuation of his epic. And I think that's great because this is a very Thor thing to happen. Being a mortal on Earth is part and parcel with the Thor comic. It's a little different this time around. It's a lot more violent this time around, but I found it compelling for sure. I like that even in a human form where he is just a guy, he still has an inherent need to stick up for the little guy. And this whole thing deals with him being, going to a construction site, trying to get a job, realizing that they're looking for him to scab against picketing workers, and he pretty much convinces everyone else to not take the job, which pisses Roxanne off and a couple of goons. I think that in itself, right there, one issue, good story, but it also is the impetus for the longer story they're telling here. And man, I love Pascal Ferry. I know Pascal Ferry might not be everyone's cup of tea, and I get that. But there's just something ethereal with his art that I don't think anyone in comics right now captures. And it's such an interesting choice for him to do this book because I think of Pascal Ferry. I think of Doctor Strange. I think of
Mm.
I think he did some Namor stuff. He did Fractions Thor back when it was the Mighty Thor, which that was Asgardian Thor. So seeing him do this very like straight level book is almost against the grain for what he normally does. But because of that, I liked it even more because it still worked. It still was surprisingly gory, surprisingly violent, but human. Man, the more I talk about this, the more I'm realizing I really liked it. Um, yeah, this is right down my alley. I highly recommend this.
I like that word choice, ethereal. Yeah, and
It's
the ink
everything's a little wispy. You know what I mean?
wispy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inks was the thing that caught me. Where it looked like just graphic textures,
Mm.
trying to become kind of smudges, which I thought were really interesting. It feels like it's like teleporting you, or it's a stamp on something. It makes the place feel a little dirty in contrast to that wispiness.
This was very nearly my pick of the week.
Same.
I
Same.
yeah, I thought this was a very, very strong issue. It does just enough to separate itself from Immortal Thor, even though it's a direct continuation of the story. It still feels like a different slice, and I like that Al Ewing figured out how to do that. Part of it is bringing in Pascal Ferry to give it a different look. Jan Bazaldua's art style was awesome, but I think it works better in a more, you know, Asgard, different realms based story. Whereas I think Pascal Ferry keeps things feeling a little bit magical, but still street level, which is exactly what this should feel like.
Yeah.
So I love that. It feels exactly where Thor should be. Almost reminded me of Ultimate Thor in the way that he's very much like um, an activist, and I thought that was cool. This Thor's not like he's not picketing, but he came upon a situation that he didn't like, and he was on the side of good right away, inherently without knowing who he is. Um, there's a lot of gore. That gore is probably harsh. There's a pretty brutal fight scene where Thor uses his hammer to just bash these guys' faces in, and it's like a work hammer, but he wields it like he's Thor. He beats them probably to death. I mean, he caught a body.
A
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that is supposed to feel shocking because what is Thor known for? He interacts with humans gently. Thor does not fight people. If he's fighting someone that's a human being but is empowered, he doesn't go full out on them. That's not Thor. So for him to do this, he's in a fight for his life.
Yeah.
Because he's just like them. He has no special powers. So that's going to be the interesting difference is like how far is this version of Thor willing to go to protect himself and other people?
Hmm. Uh, that's an interesting posit of like the depths, because that's the thing that surprised me was I wouldn't have expected this to happen. I wouldn't have expected him to go to this degree. But maybe as a person, there's more risk. The potential of dying there is that much more real that the reaction has to be commiserate.
Yeah.
Huh.
He also doesn't know who he is, so he doesn't know his own strength in some ways. He
Sure.
might have more strength than just a normal human. Who knows? We don't really know what the status of this Thor is. Yeah, no, good stuff.
Uh, in the Immortal Thor, what relation does like TV have to do?
None.
Okay, because
So by TV, you mean television?
yeah, in the sense of like that aesthetic, because at the beginning, there's like the warped television, these like background lines, like the static lines you used to get on a uh old television there. The rain, if you look at it in the back, is just lines. It just looks like the that, and then there's a little bit of texture to it, be like water. Also, when the rocks and stuff, they're at the construction site, behind him you see these like graphic. There's a lot of visual metaphor there. So I was just curious if that's something that happened.
I think you're very tapped in because the first page going into the next page very clearly establishes exactly where we're at. How does a story begin? The television is on. You've got those lines.
Mm.
This is the beginning of this iteration of Thor's story. There is a question mark about the reality of all of this.
Mm.
And a big aspect of Thor's story has been how much of it is true myth, how much of it is real, how much of his story is manipulatable by the other gods. All of those things have been playing in the margins of Immortal Thor. So I think those things carrying over and being catchable by you, even though you don't know that, is a good sign.
Well, think about it. What do you call that fuzziness for the TV, Marco? Static. Yeah. What happens before a thunderstorm? There's static in the air. It is thematic to what they're doing in the story as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's specific to this issue though, especially with the TV stuff. I don't even think we see a TV in Immortal Thor. But
Okay.
I don't think it's about the TV.
Yeah, but the static for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
There's the metaphor there, right?
It's
Is
just
more so the
continued
thing.
in a more human way in this book. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. This is an example of, I think, the creative team kind of working on they're firing on all cylinders here. This is a strong issue.
And that last page that Al Ewing wrote and explained what this issue is, man, that set me for a loop in the best way possible. I loved it so much. And reading that was like the icing on the cake for such a great issue. I cannot wait for more.
Hell yeah.
Easy pull.
Easy
pull. Yeah, I'm actually probably more excited for Mortal Thor than I was for Immortal Thor. Immortal Thor was very heavy on the lore and the mythos of Asgardians and Thor.
Yeah.
This is literally throwing it out the window. They built all that series on that. And this is just saying, hey, that's all it got. We killed it. I built it all up and I broke it all down. And now we're getting into the more bare bone side of it all. This is, I'm digging it.
42% pull, 32% didn't buy a read, passes 12%, and pick of the week, 12%. Make sure you guys vote in these polls. We get them up for you for every review that we do. It gives us a little bit of an idea of what you're feeling, what you're not. And these polls may well start influencing what makes the show and what doesn't. So Steve Canara says, no talk of Lucky. I don't really know what to say about Lucky. It's obviously, again, an allegory of Loki, helps Thor along the way, kind of sets his path. The same thing that Loki was doing in Immortal Thor, just in a different skin. It feels typical, and there's just not enough meat on the bone to really say much about it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to try and sell me a cereal.
Right.
And it also being called Lucky and the color combination being the same as Lucky Charms.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Marco forgot Lucky Charms was a cereal because you eat that honey wheat or whatever the fuck.
Dude, I ate that Special K, Wheaties.
Yeah. You seem very regular.
Well.
Dr. D. King says, I was loving Immortal Thor, but it was kind of getting boring and played out. There's a great way to do a mid-run relaunch / change. I don't know if I have that same feeling. I knew it was concluding, so I think that probably played into my thought process. It lost its scope to some degree, but we'll see where things go. So far, so good for Mortal Thor.
And maybe it was good to do this now before more people got tired of the status quo. Maybe the timing was right.
I think the perception on their end was definitely spot on, but I think we probably all agree that we prefer if this was just issue 26.
Fair.
Let's talk about. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say on the violence of it. Steve Canaris and Tilo, I found the violence off-putting, and the violence shocked me in a good way. Like I think the inclusion there of these kinds of things was really interesting.
Yeah, and again, it's just not what you expect from Thor ever. So for me, that's where the shock came from. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. This is the last issue that we'll be getting until a break period. because the book was extended from 6 to 12 issues. This is written by Dennis Camp with art and colors by Javier Rodriguez, letters by Hassan Atzman El How. So the green Martian and the white Martian are going to war, and they're using people to fight that war. It's a war on every front, on a philosophical front, on a physical front, on a mental front, on an emotional front, and we're seeing this whole thing play out. John's family is under attack by someone who is under the thrall or control or connected to the White Martian. She freaking blows this dude's head off, and he's just got a white head. It's kind of weird. But that's pretty much what I just said is what the issue is, but there's a lot more there than that. It's all of that, and it just dives very deeply into all of that.
It's a real crescendo of what we've been getting so far. The whole entirety of the series has been slowly building up tension and anxiety and the visual manifestation of what that looks like in a given society, to the point, it's being influenced by Darkseid. It's the anti-life and how that's building up and building up and building up. And this is just all out war. And it has two Martians, which are not like main DC Universe Martians. They're much more almost like, but they're more like, what's his face? The negative man in Doom Patrol, if anything. I was getting Doom Patrol vibes from this, says guy who really likes Doom Patrol. And I was digging it. It's a little hectic, the issue. It's very fast paced. There's a lot going on where I didn't quite understand what I was looking at, both in terms of like visually, because the Martians are fighting and they take different forms and all of that, and it becomes abstract in a lot of ways. But also just I didn't really fully understand the white globe head things. I knew those were people influenced by the White Martian, and the bad guys of the story, but I couldn't really figure out how. So that took me out a little bit. But all in all, god damn, this is a gorgeous book. The colors in this book are so good. A lot of use of like just the classic like CMYK and just like primary colors and using colors as form rather than needing lines for it, which I'm a sucker for. And I love how even at the core of all this, I explained all that fighting and what the story is about, but at the core, it's a story about a husband and wife. And a guy so sucked in to the world of his job, which is this, a world-ending threat, of course, but it is his job. And then finally coming to terms of like, maybe I should let my wife in on this a bit. Maybe I should listen to her. And that winds up sort of saving the day. Sort of. There's a cliffhanger. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Not my favorite issue of the bunch, but I think it's a really damn good issue no matter what.
I think to what you said earlier, like the hecticness of this is very palpable. I there were a lot of situations where, yeah, I couldn't follow along, and it took me a second. Like I would have to sit with it. Um, but the thing here that is just continuing to sell me is the art. I'm I will just look over a page. I would just sit there and look at certain things and realize that, oh, yeah, this light is actually forming the corner of a panel, and actually, if you look at the fuller panel of it, it's actually a cube. And what's the geometry here? Like, there's so much of those kinds of situations in this that I'm just I'm just enamored by looking at the pages. The But that said, I think the story does get a little wild, a little wonky, and that's the part where like this didn't get up to the level of pick of the week for me. Had it been a better combination of both, I think a clearer mind for the narrative, I think this would have easily taken the slot. But nonetheless, very, very strong.
So she was crazy as hell, man.
Yeah.
Put that on the trade.
They probably should, and I would allow it. visually speaking, every issue does something where I'm just like, yo, that is just wild. Like when the freaking Martian comes out of John's eye and then looks at
Yeah.
that guy and shuts him down, that was crazy. This page right here was just crazy, where it's the house but it's broken down. Do you see how that, like, yeah, like I love that page layout. There are so many visually arresting images that Javier figured out to put in this damn book, and it's crazy. The color work is ridiculous. This is just a visual feast. But I do have to say, from a storytelling standpoint, I really wish there was more to chew on. I don't think that there was like it didn't I didn't feel this viscerally the way that I have other issues in terms of like what it's saying, but I definitely loved looking at it. I love looking at it.
100%. I'm mad I didn't get this in physical. The last 3 pages, and the little effect that you're supposed to do.
I didn't
Oh,
know. Yeah, man.
they don't say, and now I have to go and find this.
I know. I'm gonna have. Oh, I did plan on going to the shop next week for something
Oh,
else.
there you go. If they have it, if it's still around.
Damn! Don't say that.
I have it, and I didn't even do it because I just
Now's your chance.
well, how do I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Like,
There's a you gotta separate the page from the rest of it and look at it through light. Great for
what am I
audio.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah, look
What
at
the
that.
hell am I looking at? Who gives a shit? The fuck was that?
You seeing it through it. It's you seeing that he's infected by the White Martian.
Oh yeah.
Well, so I actually like that bit. Minus that I didn't get to actually use the gimmick, but I like the bit because in issue 1, John has that near-death experience. Practically dies. Or he gets hit by a car, right? Or no, he gets hit by a car later on. What happens to him? Something happens to him where he gets
I thought it was a gunfight, a bomb.
a bomb. Babam,
Yeah.
King Babam. So that allowed the White Martian to kind of like heal him and take over and like being part of him. This son eats a poison Oreo, which classic way for a Tyler to go out. That's how I plan on going out. Just saying. But
The choco pie in my mouth.
yeah, that gives. Oh, I'll die with pie in my mouth. That's for sure. And sorry, Sean's reaction got me there. The fact that like that potentially killed the kid, but it was allowed the White Martian to kind of slide in there and take over. It's a great great cliffhanger for what couple like 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months no Martian. That's what 3 months no Martian does to a motherfucker. I'm gonna be nuts by December.
I think a lot of us are staring down that barrel, my friend. Yeah, that's a crazy reveal. We'll see how it plays out. I like what Dennis Camp is thinking. The trauma of what the family is going through has infected the son. That's how we're probably supposed to interpret it.
Yeah.
And I love shit like that. So I need to see how this is going to play out. On the whole, I definitely pass, or excuse me, wow. I definitely pull on this issue. I think it's pretty good. It's just not the best of the 6. I think I haven't been as high on the last 2. 1 through 4 are just, I swear by it.
And there are a couple issues this week alone that kind of like really jumped out to me. Immortal Thor, we just talked about. This is another one that was like, it's damn good. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Net, this series has been phenomenal.
Mr. Negative says, and next issue says 3 months later. Don't put that out there. No more months later stuff. We're done with that.
For some reason, I read this book that way, and I don't know if I'm just traumatized. But
You might be.
I read this book as if a month has passed, and then I'm like, oh no, that's not how this works.
No, that's past trauma coming to hurt you in the present, Sean. Don't let that happen.
Happens too much. 45% pull. Pick of the week is 27%. 21% didn't buy a read. Pass is 5%.
Wow, nice, great numbers.
Yeah, for a Martian Manhunter book, that still freaks me out every time.
And you have to consider the people who didn't buy or read are tradesmen out here, so they're waiting for this thing. But for it to have these numbers, very, very good.
Yeah.
Why was the final image flipped after the credits? Banksy, because you're supposed to do some goofy ass shit to look at it, and then you can see that the sun is infected by the white Martian, whatever.
Yeah, Banksy, if you're reading it in digital, it's flipped because you're supposed to be, imagine that as a page, you're supposed to be looking at it through. So since it's flipped on this page you're seeing, it would be right side up if you're looking at it through the paper.
It's wigged out. So the guys were unable to read the next book of Absolute
Damn.
Wonder Woman due to comicsology bullshit. I won't spoil this one for you guys. I'll just kind of briefly run through my thoughts. So this is, of course, by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman on art, colors by Jordi Belair, Becca Carey on the letters. Wonder Woman is still in the maze. There's a really good sequence with Wonder Woman and one of the goddesses. This one's a wolf. I think we've seen her before. And Wonder Woman teaches the goddess a lesson about compassion and relationships and how, instead of killing the creature, basically some item was stolen and the wolf wants it back. And Wonder Woman, as a child, figures out that she can go and barter with the creature instead of killing it, to get what she wants without harming anything. And I thought that was a great beat. We've seen that beat sort of repeated a few times throughout this series, but it works well here, and it bears repeating that Wonder Woman is an amazing person. The big thing that happens here, is it that big of a spoiler?
You can spoil it if it helps the discussion.
Yeah, she meets another Amazon for the first time.
Okay, we knew that was hopefully coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And this new Amazon has been helping the people within the maze to try to get out. And now that Wonder Woman is here, these two together have the confidence, and it's pretty apparent the ability to save everybody, which is really cool. I like that Wonder Woman has another person, at least in this situation, who can fight, who can help, who can do things. And we can see that the Amazons are capable, even if they're scattered. It's actually really, really cool, to me, I thought. And there's another thing that happens in this issue at the very end that is crazy. And I think I kind of have, you're right, I think I have to talk about this. Wonder Woman encounters a trident.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and there are a lot of people saying that is related to Aquaman, which makes a ton of sense, because Aquaman, if you've been reading that book, in the first issue got sucked into a fucking portal, and all that was left was the Omega symbol. So I'm thinking that there's some type of tether that trident has between mainline and absolute. I could be completely wrong, but I've seen a lot of that speculation going around. It wasn't my first thought. Once I saw it, I was like, oh, that does make sense. So
yeah, I don't know if I was thinking, like, what if that's not Aquaman's trident? But what if that's Aquaman?
I mean, that could even be because the cat that there's this like wispy energy that overtakes the trident, and it does speak to her. It does speak to Wonder Woman.
I'm thinking like Zan from the Wonder Twins, who shows up in the Aquaman book right now. But like, what if the aquakinesis of it all is like a power set of this version of Absolute Aquaman, and through magic, because people want to lean into the magic side of Aquaman a lot.
That doesn't feel far from possible. It's an interesting note to leave the issue on. It doesn't mean anything until it does.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a very interesting way to do things. For Hayden Sherman's part, they did a great job. I'm still not seeing the like crazy labyrinth shit that I was hoping for. I still think that Dark Patterns represents a better expression of Hayden's talent at developing ridiculous panels, but there is still some great panel work here. Diana looks great. The new Amazon looks awesome as well. And the colors in this issue are really great, vibrant. You don't expect the Labyrinth to be as vibrant and full of pinks and oranges as this one is, but all that stuff, Belair does a great job. So all in all, definitely a strong issue of Wonder Woman. I've been seesawing on this book, but this issue was really, really good, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, based on the previews, I really wanted to read this too because I love the art in it. I'm a sucker for pastel, like bright pastels in art lately. I went to like Anime NYC. It's a thing now. Like artists love it. And Hayden's really killing it here. So whenever Daddy Amazon lets me read this book, I guess I'll read it. But
it'll be like tomorrow night.
It'll be 10 p.m. tonight. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check before bed and it'll be there. Watch.
Yeah, I hope you guys get to check this out soon. The fact that like digital's behind in that way. Normally I would make a joke about digital, but instead I'm just gonna say it sucks because that's really bullshit. A lot of people read books digitally. They should be able to get them on time.
It's DC specific too. The last two times it's happened, so I don't. It might be a DC thing. They might be screwing up somewhere. But it's weird that it's select issues. I don't even think there was another DC book that this happened to this week either.
That is very
there wasn't.
Weird.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Wow. That is very, very strange. Comic Book History says, Ultimate August was great, guys. I've been working flat out. Sorry I missed most of it. Brian Michael Bendis interview was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Love getting compliments from the arbiter of comic book history themselves.
Yeah. Mr. Negative says, I was thinking the actual absolute Aquaman would be cool to see. I know the Aquaman book is supposed to start tying into the Dark Side stuff soon. And that's the only reason why I think it may be related to mainline Aquaman. Again, that's not a guarantee. It very well may be a tease for absolute Aquaman. It could be a tease for absolute fucking something random. Like, we don't know.
You know what I want, though, that I just thought of? Ultimate Black Manta.
Oh.
Or sorry, Ultimate. God damn it. August scared me. Absolute Black Manta.
Yeah, that could be very cool. I think with these absolute books, like really the door is open to anything, and that's fun. Like, I don't know what this is. I have speculation, but I don't know, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Damn, I want to read this.
Mr. Negative also says, after the next artist switch, Hayden's art should be a bit different. They've switched to a bigger format for pencils, and I bet it's going to be even better. That's cool.
I am excited for Matthias Bergara to take over for an issue or two. I don't know if you follow Matthias on any social media. My favorite Wonder Woman art is by him. Ever. He did the Greek pottery art.
Okay. Yep.
Which is just so my jam. Side note, Hercules is my favorite Disney movie. I just love the idea of like telling story through Greek pottery because technically in a way that was the first comic in a weird way. Like they were comics, they were telling stories in panels. So I just love that. That's 2 issues from now. We'll get Matthias. So I don't know if he's going to be tackling it in the pottery way, but either way, like even his traditional art is fantastic.
Sorry, go
ahead. The first comics, Tyler? I don't know. Scott McCloud might have something to say about that.
Oh, is it Cave Drawings?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scott McCloud. Jeez.
Did he not do an issue at some point here?
Of Absolute? No, I think the only one who's filled in was
D. Louise filled in.
D. Louise filled in for 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was announced a month or 2 ago, so I don't know if you're just remembering that.
Very possible. Yeah. All right. Let's get into a book that you guys were able to read, Immortal Legend Batman #1. A lot of hype behind this. This is the Power Rangerization of Batman, written by Power Ranger specialist, but also Massiveverse specialist, creator Kyle Higgins, joined by buddy Matt Groom. Erica D'Urso and Dan Mora credited on art, although I don't actually know what Dan Mora's contributions were beyond colors and character concepts, so they may just be giving him that credit, which is valid. Tamra Bonvillain on colors, alongside Igor Monti, and letters by Becca Carey. So this is an Elseworlds book, and I think it may be the first new Elseworld book in a while. No,
Green Lantern Dark.
was that okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Still going on, by the way.
So it is an Elseworld book, and that's a good thing to come into this with. Don't think about anything you already know regarding DC. It's a completely different situation. And basically, in this book, Batman is more of a suit of armor, like a Power Ranger type deal, than it feels like anyway than a traditional costume. There are different planets. Gotham is one of them, and there's a question about who Batman is because there's a Bruce Wayne running around, and so for the majority of the book, you're not sure if Batman is good and Bruce is bad or vice versa. Batman kind of has almost a Terminator vibe to him. And there are other familiar faces and characters you get introduced to throughout the book. You know what? I've spoken enough. Tyler, what is your impression of Immortal Legend Batman?
Okay, so Kyle Higgins is a writer that I've been reading for a while. I like Kyle Higgins. He did New 52 Nightwing, the red suit, from what I remember. I dug that. That was a jam. That was my jam. Then the Massiverse came around years later with what's the main one called?
Radiant Black.
Radiant Black. Yes. Which I thought was fine. Wasn't really my jam. And in fact, I can't really get into the Massiverse. It's not my thing. This book, Immortal Legend Batman, was the least of my jams out of everything. I didn't like this at all. I thought visually it had some good points. Whenever the suit shows up, it looks awesome. Everything else is boring. It feels like you're in a Destiny world, in the video game Destiny, but you're like in a corner where there's nothing happening. I just found the book to be kind of a snooze. Yeah, in my mind, I was expecting Power Rangers, but Batman. And instead, it's a weird Western in a weird way. I don't know. I didn't like it. Wasn't my jam.
This was neat. I definitely liked it more than Tyler, I think. The setting kind of feels a little combination of like a Super Sentai, but also a bit of Firefly. If that makes sense. So I did enjoy that kind of cross, and the concept here is interesting. These like would be, I could see them potentially getting into like Gundams or something. So I feel like I can expect a lot from this world. But what were presented in this, I thought the art was strong. I thought that the story was straightforward. And we get a few reveals, which I'm sure we got a Two-Face here, right? And so like the adaptations were interesting, and I'm curious to see how else we can keep this going in this world. The script left me hanging a lot of the time. I don't know that I always enjoyed the like the banter and the over dramatizations, but yeah, I mean, this was a good book. I would read issue 2.
Look, I apparently am a spoil sport. I guess I don't like fun. Um, this is as far away from what I want to be reading as possible. Pretty
What?
much. Yeah, like I just don't care about this. I'd rather read Hush 2. And I mean, look, it looks awesome. I'm not going to deny. I think it looks really sick, but I just want to look at it. Like I was cool on this way before we read it, just off the cover. The cover is sick as fuck. There are some really awesome visual pieces, like I'm going to show it now, the Bat Press page.
Yeah.
That full page splash was insanity. It looks so awesome. But that's like, I feel like I could see very talented artists on Instagram or Twitter drawing their version of Batman fused with X, Y, or Z. that looks a lot like this stuff, and I'm good. There's nothing here from a story perspective for me. And if this is for you, that's awesome. I am not the target audience for what happens here. And at $4.99, I'm a little annoyed, to be honest.
Mm.
Yeah, like this could have been a cool Batman suit in the main line that he needed for space or something. Like I don't the actual context of what the story is just wasn't I didn't find compelling.
Yeah.
And there's a whole like mystical element to it where they're like humans and they've passed this down, these fighting styles down, Robin, Nightwing, and Batman.
Yeah.
And like a Harper Row reference, which was like, what hold on. Where are we?
Random.
And Stephanie Brown was the original Robin in this world. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I probably will not be reading issue 2.
If I show up on this podcast and I have issue 2 in my stack, I fully
come over there.
Yeah, I fully give you the permission to come murder me. I fully
Murder. Okay.
Yeah, I fully give you that permission.
Moiderize.
Because then that just shows you that I have no self-control whatsoever and I don't belong here.
You just can't help it.
Yeah.
Throw some ice cream at you.
Tamara Bonbillon, a shout out because I think her colors are always super vibrant, super just like pop in your face. And I think here it works better than it has for me in Unlimited. So I did want to give her a shout out because it felt a little more restrained here, or at the very least better, more apt for this book in this kind of environment.
She brought it. She really did.
Yeah.
The one thing that always jumped out to me was that neon yellow that is accompanied with the bat suit in like the design of the costume, but also in like the effects around it really cuts through how everything else is kind of ugly.
Yeah, just a miss.
Have you seen those guys that do like the transformations,
like on Instagram?
Yeah.
I'm the one sending them to you.
I can see because there's a moment here where it's like become the knight. He's like, you know,
like those
cheesy
guys with the Yu-Gi-Oh dual discs on TikTok Live. Damn. Rami Darwish's worst book of the year. Oh, that's an award. That's an award.
I mean, God, no. That issue of the worst book I've read this year. Wow. What immediately jumps to mind is that annoying ass Mark Guggenheim book with the random time displaced DC characters that we read a few weeks ago.
Oh, that was I don't know. Yeah.
I hated that.
That was like Justice League Quarterly thing, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. With Batman Beyond and Jonah Hex, they had no character, no personality at all.
I think for me, like the one that jumps out to me is like some of those 8 Deaths of Spider-Man issues, where like he was just a sad sack walking around, which made me really not excited for ASM, and then I was gladly surprised. So way to turn it around.
Yeah, we don't do worst of lists, so you won't be able to find out our like well thought out answer to that question, but there have been some doozies.
On the positive end, Steve Canaris coming in saying Invisible Man by Tinian and Danny was my pick of the week. I didn't get to it yet. It is on my list though. That is for sure.
By Danny?
Oh yeah, you weren't on Pal's previews, yeah.
Damn.
Danny doing Invisible Man, how great does that sound?
Bro, that sounds so good.
We've got a bunch of people hanging out with us. Thank you for choosing us as your review crew this week. Really appreciate that. We're going to get you out of here in just a little bit. We've got 2 more books on the docket, and then, we'll chit-chat a little bit. So thanks for rocking with us. Superman, number 29, Legion of Darkseid, Part 2. This is the book that you guys voted for to be in this spot on this show. And a whole bunch of you cast your votes. Over 500. We appreciate that. Make sure you vote in this week's poll, which is up right now. You've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 11. It says 12. I'm sorry. I don't think I can edit it, but it's 11. Don't worry about it. Cheetah and Cheshire, number 2. Imperial War Exiles, number 1. And Absolute Green Lantern, number 6. Interesting choices. Cast your vote. Personally, I want to read Cheetah and Cheshire too, but everything on this list will probably be good.
Cheetah and Cheshire too has some people on the cover. They're like going through a list of probably, I guess, who they want on the crew. I want to go through that freaking cover and see who's on there.
Yeah, for real. All right, let's talk about it. This is the issue that has had everybody going crazy this week. And I am among them.
Nice.
I am among them.
Huh.
This is my pick of the week. Far and away. This is what big two superhero comics are about. So Superboy Prime is back. Time Trapper has brought him and Superman together in order to stop this evil legion. And one of the first things out of his mouth, Superboy Prime, is, "You can trust me, Clark." What a load of horse shit. So these two go through some crazy rift in reality that Superboy created by punching it, with dialogue that is Deadpool adjacent, in that he's sort of talking to us. There's an awareness on his part that he's, maybe a comic book character, which is very cool. This page here, you can see them traveling through reality and all these different versions of characters, which was awesome. Many details that Dan Mora inserted in there. And I neglected to say the creative team: Joshua Williamson, of course, the writer, Dan Mora doing his damnedest on the art this week, Alejandro Sanchez colors, letters by Ariana Mayer. And so they end up encountering the Legion in the future, and these motherfuckers are having a really bad time. They're just, these aren't even the greatest members. A lot of them have been scattered, murdered, everything else. And then they realize that one of them has betrayed. He's a chameleon, and he's working for Darkseid. And so Superman is fighting them. They're getting the best of him. He's trying to rescue Booster Gold. There's all this shit going on. And then you get to the end, and Superboy fucking Prime has betrayed him and aligned himself with Darkseid.
Oh,
No,
dude.
he's fine. Double agent.
Double agent.
Double agent. Yeah.
I appreciated the introduction here. I don't have the familiarity here. So when he said, "Trust me, Superman," I'm like, oh, he's turned over a new leaf as presented by the book. Surely the book would not lie to me. The same book that, mind you, almost killed off Superman and all those other people last issue too, that I was like, so this got me through to the end. Also pick of the week. Phenomenal issue. And to see this get set up, here's an introduction. Here's what you need to know. Okay, go. Sean, can you pull that page you had and then go to the page right before it? The part where he says, "Come on, get Silver Age with me." Lift it up just a little bit. And he's looking you in the eye. Hell yeah, dude. He's talking to me. I felt like I was participating in this. And that was so much fun from Williamson's part. To be able to like get the cheeky comments that like, we're both in on it, until the end where it's like, you got me too, not just Superman, I'm on his team. I felt like this was everything that superhero comics can be and more, because of the way that we're breaking the fourth wall here. I got roped in by the same guy, Superboy Prime. Yo, fuck this guy.
Okay.
Yo, that's such a good point. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just love seeing Marco experience this for the first time. I remember my first Superman Prime book.
So cool.
He's one of my favorite DC characters of all time. I adore Superboy Prime. I beg you, Marco, find a way to read Infinite Crisis.
All right.
That's just such good stuff there. So here's my theory, guys. I think you guys are being worked.
Nah.
I think this book opens with positing how Superboy Prime wanted to be Superman was his hero, and he wanted to have the team up with him. That's his biggest dream. And through a whole bunch of misunderstandings and being misguided and just being a little crazy, it kind of led him being a bad guy. And this is him coming back from that. Only to end with a turn. I think it's a double turn. I think it's a turn for this issue, but I bet you we'll get either the whole they both plan this together and it's been a team up this whole time, and then maybe even a heroic sacrifice from Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime can never really exist in a book for too long. He's always kind of an in and out character. So I can see him having like his final face turn here, and especially Williamson, the way Williamson's been writing Superman. It has been hopeful, and it has been dealing with Superman, not befriending his enemies, but at least coming to understand him in different ways, with Lex specifically, and I think doing something similar here with Superboy Prime. I'm holding out that this is all a work to trick the Legion, because they're outnumbered. They got to do something different. That being said, I was in for the ride. I don't have much of a affinity for Legion. It's just they have not really been around much in my time of reading DC comics in a monthly fashion. But man, I never thought the Chameleon would look cool. Like I'm aware of the characters, but like that one bit where Chameleon like stabs Brainiac 5, R.I.P. Spoiler, oops, and then like he just like turns himself into Silver Age Chameleon, and it felt like almost like an All Might My Hero Academia bit.
Yeah.
Or he went like Chad face all of a sudden. I thought like, yeah, fuck with Superman's head. Do it. I dare you. This was my pick of the week as well. This is a unanimous pick here. I had so much fun with this. Dan Mora killing it in all senses of the word. A Legion of Superhero book is compelling to me in the year 2025. Who would have thunk it? And I also kind of like the shift in what we knew happened in the All In special. With Booster going somewhere. Mr. Terrific said he was going to another universe. We always assumed he was in the Absolute Universe. Mm-hmm. We learn in this that's not what happened. He actually got sent to the future. So it's a little different. That almost makes it feel like they won't have a crossover anytime soon. Because we thought Booster Gold would be the kind of glue to do that, but not the case. And I'm wondering if whatever the eventual fight with Darkseid is what creates the Absolute Universe. Yeah, we're seeing the Absolute Universe, but maybe we're not seeing its creation yet. But either way, I love this book. So that's good stuff.
You know, I don't care if this is a fake out or not with Superboy Prime, because it was so effective in this issue that I just want to say hats off to Joshua Williamson for nailing that. It worked perfectly. Whether you are a longtime fan of this character or you're new to him, like in Marco's case, this turn works. And I am very impressed by how important this book feels. It's very difficult to make things feel important at all. As somebody who tries to make things feel important to you guys every month, right? Ultimate August, it's hard to make people feel something. And Joshua Williamson understands exactly how to do that. This is event level storytelling. And I wish DC did a better job of making sure that you're reading this comic book. You should absolutely be reading this if you care about what happened in All In. You have to know these things. And it's the reward. This kind of issue is the reward of superhero comics. I'm not saying it's just candy and, it's fluff. There's a lot of great stuff here, but that's the added benefit that you really cannot get in any other place. And that's why I love this stuff so much. The hopelessness when Superboy Prime says, come get Silver Age with me, and he's got that smile on his face, and they go through reality, and it's like, and then you turn the page, and it looks like the future from Terminator 2, and everything is hell. What happened here? This is crazy.
And I think they did a smart thing with like the Legion introduction just a few issues back on stuff, right? It primed us for all of this. So you're saying it rewarded us for all this. That's that manga type shit where it's like, we're going to go into the next arc. Oh, but sorry, let's like flip back 15, 20 years. So you can get this sentimental moment with all these people and characters that you're about to interact so that when we get here, that shit hurts.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, which worked on me because I don't really have a hold on Legion.
Me neither.
I popped for Chameleon showing up. Like what the fuck's going on?
dude, Starman being just like uh covered in blood splatter, and he's just like the future is dead. I'm like, I want to know this guy's story. Where do I get more of this guy? He's not like this.
And the heel turn of the Legion is making the Legion more interesting.
Yeah.
Like you very, very rarely get to see that kind of thing in comics, in comparison to say wrestling, where you can take a guy like Roman Reigns, for example, who was very stale, turn him heel, and all of a sudden you've got this monster on your hands. Very few people care about the Legion. If you're one of them, I don't mean that offensively. I'm just saying that in the grander scheme of things, they're not the most popular, anything that DC has access to. But now, when it's time for a Legion number one, I know for myself at least, and I assume I'm speaking for the rest of the pals here, that I will be much more interested in it than I ever would have been prior to this.
I want it on the ground floor now.
Yeah,
This is
sure.
how you make people care for teams and for other uh for like secondary characters is you put them in something that matters with an all-star creative team. You integrate them into the story so that it feels important, and then you spin it off. That's the reward. I had so much fun here. I want to keep seeing where these guys go, and maybe you get drop off, fine, but you helped build like the floor first.
Superman may not be DC's best book. Maybe that's Batman Dark Patterns. But damn if it's not DC's most exciting book on a month-to-month basis, especially right now with this Legion stuff.
Yeah.
I think you meant to say DC's best book is JSA. Hey, Gavin. Nice to see you in the chat there.
Well, he's not on the book quite yet. It will be when he's there. But
He does say some of us are huge dorks and are into the Legion.
Gavin, who's your favorite Legion member? Do you guys have a favorite from what you've gotten so far?
Starman.
Yeah. Who's the girl?
That's
Saturn Girl.
Yeah.
Saturn Girl's crazy. Saturn Girl was in Tom King's Batman, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
Yo, she was awesome there too.
I like I don't think we've seen him. He might have been in the splash page. There was man, what he's like a wolf looking guy. Timberwolf. I like Timberwolf.
That's
He's
a cool
essentially
name.
Wolverine. He's Space Wolverine.
It's pretty sick. Yeah, this was great. Pick of the week, far and away, far and away. I cannot wait for the next issue.
Unanimous pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got MX Mothman saying his is Brainiac 5. Gavin saying Starboy 2. Man, what do you get, the weekend? Rami Darwish with the 4.99 saying Williamson thrives and he's working on fewer books. This run is even better than his run on the Flash. I never understood Williamson hate. I don't know of a Williamson book that I've been anything less than, oh, that was good. You know what I mean? Like it's either good or better. Yeah, I'm digging everything he's been doing with Superman.
I think the Williamson hate comes from people's perception that he's not a closer, meaning he can deliver the goods until it comes to the end, and then people feel like he fumbles. And I think some people feel like his writing is a bit fluffy. I don't agree with those sentiment. I think Williamson is great, and I'm loving what he's doing. And I think if you're a Williamson doubter and this isn't proving him to you, then you clearly just don't like him, and that's not changing. But to me, I think he's doing his best work right now.
I feel like there was always the, oh, this is a good run, this is a great run, but the name never attracted enough to be like, oh, I have to go read this now. I have to go read his Flash, right? And yeah, I think to what Dan Trudeau's saying here, I think Dark Crisis dinged his reputation a little bit. But before that, even I feel like there wasn't the draw from me. This is proving otherwise.
Yeah.
Hype.
By the way, 51% pull, didn't buy or read, 26%, pick of the week, 18%, pass, 4%. That is extreme.
What are we doing?
That is extreme. Wow.
Huh.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah. You think we'll see the dark version of Arm Fall Off Boy?
Where his arms come back on.
Oh, Arm Fall On Boy.
There it is.
Oh, no. Creepy.
Mr. Negative makes a good point. Dark Crisis and Night Terrors definitely hurt Williamson's
Night
reputation,
Terrors, yeah.
but they came out at a time where, like, I mean, just before Night Terrors, DC was pretty good, and then Night Terrors fucked everything up. I don't think that event should have happened. I would actually sign up for a lobotomy to forget that that event happened, and then my opinion of Joshua Williamson would be 100% hits, no misses. Because I even like Dark Crisis.
Mm.
Yeah, I like Dark Crisis too. Yeah, I think Night Terrors is the only real miss for me.
Wow, Joe 7. Hey pals, did go to the Dan Water signing at Midtown Comics, Grand Central, and got TMNT Shredder, some Nightwing, and Batman Dark Patterns issue 7 to 9 signed. Hell yeah, that's rad.
Big Dan
awesome.
Waters fan, huh? Good to know.
That's awesome. Uncanny Suit. I thought you guys loved Night Terrors. What happened? You're
You trolling.
put me on to whoever sold you whatever has you thinking that. And then I really want to tackle this comment. It's from Handstand Dad. Sean, you are much more expressive than usual today. Must have been really good. Have you met me? I am the expressive one
You got a whole soapbox for
of
that.
the show. Yeah, that's my whole gimmick, man. But I guess maybe you're newer here, and maybe I've been more subdued lately. But that is definitely what I'm known for, is my expression. Steve Canaris. This is an interesting thought. He says, I never judge a writer by events. Do you guys, is that a thing you do in your mind?
If I did, then I wouldn't be a Remender fan. I think it's events are a specific beast.
Yeah.
That I'm inclined to agree with Steve on this. I think subconsciously I might be intrigued on how a writer tackles an event, but don't blame him if it doesn't work out.
Right. Yeah. Like I do think it takes a different caliber of writing to be able to manage the largeness of things and coordinate. So I think if it flops, that's as much a product of the whole as the individual.
I was just thinking, and I think all of my favorite writers have written an event that I think is dreadful. Morrison did Final Crisis, which I still don't understand.
Oh, I love Final Crisis. Damn it.
Explain it.
No, we don't have too much time for that.
Remender did Axis, which was dreadful. Yeah, that was really rough. Bendis out. I mean, come on. Yeah, they've all had. Actually, Jeff Johns is the only one who hasn't missed.
He's kind of the event guy.
He is the greatest event writer of all time. I actually don't even think it's close. Because who's second? Bendis?
Maybe, but like nobody really does more than one. Maybe Snyder.
Oh,
he's done more than one.
And a few.
He's done.
Well, what did he do? He did Death Metal, which was awesome. Death Metal, which was not.
He's doing KO. I guess that'll be the rubber match there.
Yeah.
A lot of bad stuff.
Ooh, does Doomsday Clock override Final Crisis in your eyes?
I mean, Doomsday Clock is a classic. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. So I definitely don't think I don't hold it against Jeff Johns.
Oh yeah. Hickman's a good event guy.
All right, but then you have to talk about Ten of Swords, and
that was Hickman and the Children.
I'm with you on that, and I will say the parts that I attribute to Hickman, I really liked.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So if you were willing to do that, then I'll agree.
But that's what I mean by like it is as much a part of the whole than it is the individual, right? Like you have to consider the other people, and then that's not fair, I think.
In terms of judging only, like saying, well, Hickman parts were good, so I'm excusing that he was a part of this,
or that saying that because the sum was like not great, that despite the good of Hickman flopped.
I got you. Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I got you. All right. I mean, so Hickman's there, but I still think Jeff Johns is the number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bad one from Jeff, honestly.
No, you're completely right, Aaron Ruiz. Don't let anybody tell you anything otherwise. Inferno was sick as hell. And whatever Marvel did with Moira after the fact has nothing to do with it.
They gave her a twirling mustache and a top hat.
Yeah, that was rough. What are we doing? Sorry. Let's talk Shredder. TMNT Shredder #1. Wanted to make sure we talked about this because we've been TMNT boys since the relaunch, and IDW's been good to us. So Dan Waters, Mikhail Bandini, colors by Marco Lesko, letters by Darren Robinson. Shredder has been notorious in his absence in the current TMNT run. 11 issues deep, and I can't even recall a specific reference to him. He hasn't been there. They're doing other stuff. And so where has he been? This issue gives us an idea of the answer to that question when he returns to his old stomping grounds, a foot base, and it's been overtaken. There's new blood and new people who are running things, and he encounters them and their leader, or at least one of their leaders, and Shredder is captured by a government agency. They want to use him to infiltrate this group and take it down. And one of the coolest things I have seen in all these TMNT comics is the last thing that happens in this book. I was pretty worried going into the final sequence when they unveiled that like mech Shredder. I was like, that's so lame. That's like when you put the Hulk in like a mech. Like, no, he's Shredder. He can kick ass. He doesn't need a mech. And I'm like, that sucks, Dan Waters. And then Shredder looks at it himself and just starts tearing that shit apart and makes himself look like Shredder. He takes the freaking helmet, the sharp claws, and keeps it pushing. That's when I knew this book was fire. It's the last page, but it's fire.
I think I needed more for this to like land. I think the majority of this being action sequence, right, and not necessarily having as much character, and like really what are you gonna do with Shredder, right? Like he's just the big bad, I guess. And so seeing the initial interactions are cool. It's a flashy book. But beyond that, I not that I disliked it, but I was just kind of in along for the ride. I don't feel like I had as much to say about it.
I'm kind of with you, Marco. I don't. My history with TMNT is like the movies. That's really about it, and they're kind of goofy and shitty. Never really read the comics. I dabbled in Sophie's Run for a bit. Played the arcade game or whatever. So like I don't really know much about Shredder. Shredder is an idea for me more than a character. So going into this, I really had no expectations. I'm liking what Jason Aaron's doing for the 2 more issues he's doing it for. But I didn't really have any real expectations for a Shredder book. I thought it was fine. I don't know if it really sold me on who Shredder is yet. I still don't really understand who Shredder is. He just seems like a guy who wants revenge on the people who usurped him, which like if that's the story, then fine. It feels like a Kurosawa movie in New York. And if that's the route they're going, then I'm in. But I was like, I'm in for issue 2 for sure. If issue 2 can kind of like really kick me in the pants, then I might be fully in. But yeah, I think it's a standard issue.
I think that's fair. I don't think that there was anything revelatory going on.
Yeah.
I think I was just really happy that Dan Waters seemed to get the characterization, or at least what I expect from Shredder, without being like Tyler. I have no familiarity with him in the comics whatsoever. This is a basic issue. I will definitely grant you that. I still had fun with it, despite that fact. And I am looking forward to more. Plus, the government agent is a smoke show, so that always helps. But yeah, I had fun. I don't know. I had fun.
Hey, fun is all you can really hope for a comic.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does look cool, man. Shredder is a cool ass design.
Yeah, very simple but very cool.
There was a part of me like, so I never really know much about Shredder, so like I almost like never want to see Under the Mask.
Sure.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, the opening, I was like, oh, that's Shredder. I didn't want to know that.
In the movie, they show his face for
Yeah.
like a brief period, and that was an awesome moment in that movie. And I kind of wish for that similar level of mystique, but it's hard to do that when you have a book based around the character.
Yeah.
Which is why I tend not to like villain books. And like knowing myself, I probably won't even finish this one. But I like what I'm getting so far.
Sure.
Yeah. This for somebody who's probably more integrated is or has that much more familiarity history, could be a fun, hey, he's back. Right. So for that end, I'd pull on this for that. That's a recommend.
Yeah. Oh, see, Gavin is on point. Got to get them state issued half gloves on the government agent. I co-sign that.
Gooner alert. I had to get that Gooner alert stream layout thing.
I'm a pull.
I think it's a pull for me too, actually. Yeah, I'll go pull. It was more positive than negative for me.
Marco?
Yeah, pull.
Cool. Didn't buy or read 72%. Oh man.
Yikes.
Pull 21%, pass 5%. So not the best showing for Shredder, but that's all right. It happens. Maybe our review will get you to go out and get it. I don't know. Again, it's not a revelation, but I had a lot of fun.
Do you guys see that newest Ninja Turtle cartoon movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
I thought it was really good. I recommend it if you get a chance. It's just a fun, very Spider-Verse influenced.
Oh, that's what like the young and stuff.
Mutant Mayhem. Yeah.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
A little bit of relevant context from Tilo, who always knows. He says, TMNT superfan here. Shredder has been a good guy after Shredder in Hell, and then his wife died, and the flashback sequence and the worm are new as far as I remember.
Huh.
Worms are
Okay.
gross.
All right. Angel Rosales says, I read TMNT for Turtles, not Shredder. That is very, very fair. That is very fair.
Yeah, Casey Jones. Did that come out? Or is that coming out?
That's coming out.
Coming. Yeah, we haven't
Okay.
gotten that yet. Yeah, like it's one of those things with villains and secondary characters where I'm sure IDW would love to be able to make TMNT money multiple times over.
Yeah.
So you make money off the TMNT book and then spin off to Shredder and make money off that. And we'll see how that plays out. I don't know. Let's get into the stack. Let's do the stack.
Hey,
Stack
get those
it up.
numbers in, people.
Oops, I still have Blackhead on here. Ignore that. I'm not gooning. Any tales from the shop this week, Sean?
Yeah, no. My shop was pretty tame. I was surprised by the amount of people that were there because of how early I was there. I almost opened it.
Wow.
There were a lot of people there. So that's always good to see. I like to see my LCS pretty populated. They had a Jim Lee signing the day before, not at that location, at a different location. And I heard it was crazy.
Probably downtown, right?
Yeah. I heard it was crazy.
Their lines are crazy over there. That's where I met BKV.
The Wall Street one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's my favorite out of all of them, honestly.
Same. Yeah, same.
I like
it's the quietest.
Yep.
Over the past weekend, I was at Finger Lakes area, but I passed through Scranton, and just a shout out to anybody who's goes to Comics on the Green. Very, very cool shop. Highly recommend. The people there were super friendly, super nice. We got into conversations about like the compact comics because they were in the middle of like stocking stuff, and they had just gotten a new shipment. And I'm like, hey, how has that stuff been doing? He's like, we can't keep them. Like they go flying off the shelves.
Did you get one?
No, I ended up getting a Junkyard Joe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I've only ever read it in the individual issues, But I wanted to get the trade because I think Jade might like it.
What do you remember what compacts they were stocking?
Oh, not off the top of my head. No,
And in terms of like couldn't keep
it
them
was
on the
Batman.
shelves, he
Something
meant like
Batman.
he couldn't keep any of them on the shelves. Doesn't matter if it's a
It doesn't
compact
matter.
comic. Wow,
If it's a compact comic, it's getting sold out.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty hyped on it when it was announced, but I think it's proved itself even further than what I thought it would do.
Yep.
Yeah, I generally think I agree with that. Yeah. Game Master with the 199. Hello, late, but can't wait to catch up on this tomorrow. Thank you, dude. Marco, you are a traveler, dude. You get around. And one of the things I like is you always make space for a comic book shop.
I'd like to see what the vibes are everywhere else. I'm going to Tennessee this weekend. I'm gonna go see a shop or two.
I always check. That's the like if I'm in a new city, I always check like, or where's a comic shop nearby.
Yeah.
I went to one in Portland, Maine. Loved it. I forget the name of it. I posted on. It's on our Instagram though. But they had like hand drawn Swamp Thing on the desk
Oh,
from name a Swamp Thing artist, Marco.
Stephen Bissett, John
Yes,
Toddleman.
yes. It was
Yeah,
Bissett.
Bissett's up there in Vermont, I think.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
drawn on like the desk where you're cashing out. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he lives somewhere up there, Vermont or Maine or something like that. It's good to see what the comics culture is like in different pockets of the country. And sometimes you have to judge, a store by like where it is and the kind of people that come in terms of like what is it fostering there,
Hmm.
right? So I'll always just chit chat with an owner. I'll see like who's picking up books, how excited they are. It's fun. It's always a fun time.
I went to this one in Seattle where it was like comic book shop, and then half of the shop was also like vintage Disney memorabilia, like Disneyana stuff. I was living in that shop.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like your home.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Let's get to these. Let's get to these numbers.
Numbers we got here. We got starting with James Jones, 20 for Sean Stack. Damn, he don't got faith in you. Hayden's Hideout, 16. Near with 24. Rami Darwish, 14. Steve Canaris, 19. Patrick Zay, 17. Entertain Me, 17. Handstad Dad, 21. JV City, 15. Ted H, 29. Doubter Indeed. Dan Trudeau, 18. Oyabun, 18. DWS Stacking, 28. Mr. Negative, 23. Ron Orange, 20. That's about it. Oh, Woo Joe says 10.
All right. So we've got Green Lantern number 26. Very good issue. This book is just on fire right now. It's crazy how good Jeremy Adams is. It's like he just understands this character, and not this character, but this world. Stellar. And Viken Marion.
Oh, he's doing the
shout
art?
out.
Oh,
Shout out.
nice.
Oh, hell yeah. I haven't seen his interiors in a while.
He's been on the book.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. I mean, he's not the only artist who's been on it, but he's been on it.
I don't think it's someone else then.
Justice League Unlimited 10. Geiger 17. Beneath the Trees 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that came out this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lazarus Fallen number 3. Monstrous number 59.
No.
I never dropped it.
No.
I never dropped it.
Sean.
I never dropped it.
My guy.
No, I think you're just fucking with us. This is a bit.
No, this is not a bit, dude. I would be pulling that book whether I had a podcast or not.
Yo,
one day I'm gonna read it all.
We're gonna do an image book club, and that's all anybody's gonna
No, we're
vote.
gonna do a monstrous book club. I'm calling it now. Sean, did you like when you were reading Monsters? Did you like it so much? You're like, I need to be into this.
I loved it.
It was so much fun.
it.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I agree. I agree with you.
There is no book that looks like it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
give
just
that
couldn't
much.
get over the Sonic Takeda art, and
Right.
there's no other book that even then there wasn't another place to read Marjorie Liu's work. Like,
Fair. She's in like TV now, right?
I think she transitioned into another space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Invisible Man issue 1.
Oh hell yeah!
Void Rivals 22.
Really good, by the way.
You read it?
Not this issue, but I'm saying like the series as a whole. I'm not
Oh,
up to
yeah.
this issue, but
Yeah.
I'm up to date on it.
Yeah, Void Rivals is awesome. We're taking everyone down with us 5. Imperial War Black Panther 1. Imperial War Planet She-Hulk 1.
Oh, you got the good cover.
Yeah, had to. Incredible Hulk 28. That is a disgusting cover.
Ooh, gross.
Looks like
Yeah.
me at the dentist.
Oh no. Miles Morales Spider-Man 37. Runaways number 3.
Oh no.
Hey, boys and girls.
Kaya number 29. This book remains the best comic book. Go buy it. Kaya's the shit.
Cover saying Wakaya forever. Jeez.
And last and least, Avengers number 29.
Hey,
Did I convince you to get something you shouldn't have?
I was duped, hoodwinked, baited.
Sean, next week Marvel Zombies is returning in the book.
Did you get to this
I
time?
didn't get to it yet. No.
No spoilers. I will never, ever check in on this book again. I will never do it again.
You gave it a shot.
I can't believe.
Is it the most littlest connection to Secret Wars?
I mean, on that front, there's definitely a relevant connection. But it's a weird one. It's just and you know what? I'm gonna spoil one thing for you. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
You know how my problem is? Every time I read this book, he's introducing a whole bunch of villains.
Is this again?
There's a whole team introduced in this issue, dude. Again.
Oh, is it like Meridon and all those people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been around.
Okay.
But yes, but you're not wrong in this so much that it is another team. That's like the ones that are arbingers of the events.
Right.
They fought them earlier in the year or something.
Yeah. Look, if you guys love it, that's cool. I will never read that book again. I can't do it.
Was that 24?
Yeah.
Yo,
Damn.
fucking Jack Bauer over here.
All right,
Yeah,
let's see.
up.
Without going over, near on the nose, 24 for the stack. Holy shit!
And then
that's crazy. Wow.
He must be near you. Check around your surroundings.
Doesn't Near live in New York?
I think so, right?
We have a lot of New Yorkers in this audience.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I do wonder why. Entertain me. It was a game time decision. I looked at the book. I looked at Christopher Priest's name and I put it down. That's genuinely what happened. I had it in my hands.
I gotta say, when I was looking at the previews for Pal's Previews, which you should check out, that one came out on Monday, I might pick that up. The art looked interesting enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't do it, man. And I think it was $5.99 or
never mind.
I was just like, I'm not. This is crazy.
Oh, Near is actually Southern Cali, and Mrs. Near picked the number. So congrats to Mrs. Near.
All right. Well, Near, you don't get shit then.
Right. Tell her to never mind.
No, yeah, you want to make something hot water there.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Near. I misplaced my faith in Sean's ability to cut books off the pull list.
Yeah.
Relapse.
It's not a relapse. This just genuinely represents, like, I mean, some of these are number ones of books that are new, but the majority of this represents books I genuinely really enjoy reading. They just all happen to come out this week. So what are you gonna do?
Has it been? Maybe it's just me, but have like the final weeks been crazier than like normal lately?
Last month's 5th week was really bad. Yeah, July's 5th week was really bad. August has just been crazy nearly all month.
Wait, Tyler, that's a great trend. This is the last week 24. The last week of something like June was 26. Of May 19. Those are the highest of those months.
But were those 5th weeks?
Those are all 5th week. Not necessarily
not always
5th
weeks,
but last
weeks. Yeah,
the last week.
Oh, okay. Last week, sure.
If there's a 5th week, that 5th week's gonna be shit. But it's not. Not every month has a 5th week.
Right.
You should have chosen Sonya over Avengers, dude. I
apologize.
And it's not like, as fun as it would be to blame Tyler exclusively.
Feel free.
I was interested in checking in because they were promising Reed and Secret Wars. So I looked in and I looked in and looked away. Um,
Oh yeah, did you not get news from the Fallout?
I didn't. You know what happened? A really weird thing.
Ooh.
I love the first one a lot. I read the second one, and this probably happens to me once a year where I don't finish a comic.
Oh.
I realized halfway through I don't give a fuck about this, which is crazy because I love the first one. But I just felt like the second one was getting into stuff that I just don't care about, so I tuned out.
Fair. Any interest in trade?
No,
No,
no.
it was that much of a just not into it.
Yeah, like I'd never glaze over that hard, but I just maybe it's just me right now, but like I was just like, you know what? I clearly don't care because I'm not paying attention. I'm done.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, next week's gonna be huge. Batman #1 and a bunch of other big titles. Make sure you watch Pal's previews this Monday at 1 p.m. so you can know what we're gonna be talking about there. Also, this Saturday, for the main show, we're gonna be talking about the Absolute Universe's biggest inspiration, manga.
Oh. Manga?
Yeah.
Anime?
Another DCX manga topic. We'll see how that does.
Oof.
I have a lot to say on this.
I got
And
thoughts on manga.
Yeah. Hopefully you guguys come and hang out with us Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Hit the like button on your way out. Thank you for joining.